Hi everyone, and welcome to our tutorial for our Macramé Dreamcatcher kit. Today I'm going to go through how to follow the instructions to do the hoop part of the Dreamcatcher, and then I'll give you a few ideas of any decor that you want to do on the cords hanging from the hoop. The beauty of this design is once you've done the hoop, it's really entirely up to you what you would like to do, what designs or what patterns. So I'm just going to give you a few ideas today. So before you start, if you've bought the kit, you've got everything that you will need. Which includes a hoop. This is a 6-inch hoop. Okay, it's just a metal Dreamcatcher hoop, and we're going to use the 3mm cotton cord. This is the 3-ply, the twisted 3-ply cord, but you can use single twist if you prefer. That's entirely up to you. And you're also going to need a pair of decent scissors. Okay, now again I'm working on my cork board, and that's just so I can pin my work in place when I'm making the knots. Okay, so it's not moving around everywhere. Okay, but the first thing we're going to do is with our cord we need to cut 10 lengths that are 2.5 meters. That's 250 centimeters long. Okay, and what we're going to do is we are going to fold those in half so that the ends meet. Okay, then smooth it out so you will have the loop at the other end. Okay, now we're going to attach the 10 cords with a lark's head knot. So we can put the loop over the metal and then bring the cords through. Okay, there you go, there's one attached. So then I'm going to get another of my cords. And again, I'm going to bring the ends together so that they meet. It's just so we're working evenly. Okay, and then we've got another loop over the cord, over the hoop, and then pull these 2 cords through. Okay, and then pull it tight to the metal. Okay, we'll be able to neaten these up in a bit. Okay, so we've got the lark's head knots happening now. If yours look like that, that's the reverse lark's head knot, okay, which is fine. Again, you can have it that way if you want to, but if you turn it over, they'll look like that. I personally prefer them with the cord over the front. I just think it just gives a nice finish. So you're going to now attach the rest of the cords. So you've got another 8 2.5 meter length cords. You're going to now attach all of those to the hoop. Okay, so if you do that, and I'll meet you when they're done. Okay. Okay, so now we have the 10 lark's head knots attached to the hoop. Okay, we can neaten them up as we go along. But what we're going to do now is we are going to, and you don't have to do this bit if you don't want to, okay, but if you want to cover the hoop, we need another length of the cord, which is 2 meters long. Okay, and all we're going to do is we're going to wrap it all the way around the hoop. Okay, so as I say, if you want to leave this hoop exposed as it is, that's absolutely fine. If you want to wrap the hoop, then that's absolutely fine too. So I'm just going to leave about 10 centimetres end, and then I'm just going to wrap all the way around here. Okay, right, and I'm going to keep going all the way around. Okay, so if I bring it a bit closer, okay, you don't need to do it too tightly, but you don't want to do it too loosely either. Okay, and it will move. Okay, and then as we go around the hoop, then we can neaten it up and tidy as we go. Okay, so I'm going to carry on doing that all the way around, and I'll meet you when we're done. Okay, so what we've got now is we've got our cords attached with the lark's head knots, and we had 10 of those, and with the 2-metre cord I have wrapped the hoop. Okay, and again, as I said, you don't have to do that, but I've just done it so it's all colour covered. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to make a alternating square knot pattern. Okay, so here's the alternating square knot. So on the first row we have got 5 square knots, then on the next row down we've got 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. Okay, so we do the square knots the first row, and then we join these 2 together by making another square knot underneath, which holds them together, and then so on. Okay, so let me show you how we're going to do that. So I'm going to work from left to right, and I'm going to take the first 4 cords and I'm going to make a square knot, and when I pull it up I'm just going to leave a couple of centimetres from the top, okay, just to give a bit of a different pattern at the top. So there's 1 square knot, okay, and pull that there. I tend to hold my thumb on the holding cords just to make sure that I can keep these nice and tight. Now this is where you might need to hold your work. You might notice that I've pinned the other cords out of the way, but I'm just going to pin the hoop so when I pull the square knot the whole thing's not moving around. Okay, so then I'm going to take the next 4 and I'm going to make another square knot, and I need to make sure that I'm doing this. Oh, not, the cords are quite long. I need to make sure I do this level with the first square knot. Okay, now you can do it by eye, or if you wanted to you could put a ruler there so that you're making sure that they're all level. But I think for now I'm just going to carry on. Okay, so we've got 2 square knots now. I'm just going to move those cords over to the left so they're out the way, then take the next 4. There we go. It's important to keep the cords flat so that the knots lie nice and flat. You can hear the dog. Someone's at the door. Okay, and another square knot. So you can see I'm pulling these holding cords in the middle down and making sure it's all nice and flat. And then one last square knot. Okay, there we go. Right, so I've now got 5 square knots for the first row of my pattern, and just as we've done with all the other designs, just need to make sure all these cords are lying flat and not like overlapping each other. Okay, now we're going to start alternating the pattern. So we're going to join these first 2 knots. So we're going to leave the first 2 cords. I'll tend to move them right out the way. Okay. It's a bit tricky trying to do this with a camera as well. Right, there we go. And then I've got the next 4 that are going to join these 2 knots. Okay, and this just makes it sturdy and makes the pattern come together. Okay, so there's another square knot. Okay, and this bit, it's the same as our level 1 wall, heart wall hanging pattern. When we get to the bottom of the heart, we decrease. Okay, so that's what we're going to do now. So I'm going to make another 3 square knots for this row. Then I'm going to go on to the next row and I'm going to miss out the first 4 cords, and there'll be 3 square knots, then there'll be 2, then there'll be 1. Okay, so I'll do that and meet you at the other side. Okay, so we've made our alternating pattern now into, it's almost like an arrow pointing down. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to sort of give this a nice edge by making this line here, which is made of double hitch knots. So how we do that is we're going to take the first cord, the outer cord, and this is going to become the filler cord, which is going to be inside all of the hitch knots. And we're going to work again from left to right on this side, and I'm going to take my cord, I'm going to take it over the holding cord, the filler cord, and then I'm going to take it through the loop and pull it tight. Okay, we've still got quite a bit of length at the moment on there. Okay, and I'm just going to pull that so it's nice and neat around the filler cord. That's half a hitch knot, and then we're going to do that again. So I'm going to take it over the filler cord, underneath and through the loop, and then pull it all the way through, and then I'm going to pull that so it looks nice and neat on the edge of the triangle. And I'm going to repeat that all the way down. again, this is just another knot to show you because this was one of the level 2 designs, so it's nice to put different knots together. So it's still using level 1, but it's just a bit more intricate. So you can see what I'm doing is every time I do a knot, I'm just sort of using my fingers to make sure that they're nice and neat. I'm going to carry on all the way down there. You might see people do knots slightly differently, but this is the way that I do them, so this is the way I'm sharing it with you. Okay, so you can see it's given a nice neat edge there. I've got one more for that side. Okay, there we go. Right, so that's that side done. Move those out the way so I'll try not to get tangled. And then I'm going to do the same, working from right diagonally left. Okay, so that outer one is the filler cord, and then I'm going to be making more double hitch knots. Right, so now we've completed both diagonal rows of the double hitch knots. Now what we're going to do is we are going to attach these cords to the hoop. So to do that, I'm just going to unpin it so I can move it. And I need to move all of these cords so that they are behind the hoop. Okay, and then pull them back out. All right. And once again, I'm going to make sure that they're all lying flat. They're not overlapping. There we go. Okay, and again, to join these to the hoop, I'm going to be doing the same as we did here, and I'm going to be using the double hitch knots. So I would suggest, to keep them again all nice, neat and straight, I would start with the centre cords. Okay. If you need to wiggle these bits, you can. I would start with the centre cords so that we can keep these cords nice and straight, and we can space them out evenly as we go. Okay, so there's one. And there's two. Okay, and like I say, this is a little bit more time consuming. You might want to wiggle them against here. There you go, don't worry. There we are, that's it, just give it a wiggle. And you're going to go out to the next cord. Okay, so we want to keep them nice and straight and quite taut. Okay, and what I'm going to try and do is leave a consistent gap between each of the cords, just so it looks nice and neat. Again, wiggle that over. Don't rush this bit, just take your time. There we go. Okay. Let me show you one more. I've done one, so now I'm going to go to the other side. It is an idea just to move these. Just to move these out here. Okay, so over. Okay, there we go. Then over again through the loop for your double hitch knot. And there we go. Okay, so next one this side. And again, don't pull them too tight to begin with so that you can wiggle them. You see I'm trying to keep them. There we go. Once you're happy with it, then you can secure it a bit tighter. Now look, they've overlapped there, so I'm going to make sure that I uncross them before I do the next knot, because the pattern won't look as neat if we carry on like that. So there's half hitch and double hitch. Okay, right, so then I'm going to go out to the next one. That's it. There we go, and give it a wiggle. Okay, so I'm going to do that one this side, then go to the other side, just so that I can make sure that they're nice and even, and then I'll meet you back. Right, there we go. We have now got our cords for the bottom of the Dreamcatcher all attached to the hoop. Now this is what you can just tweak them, pull them a bit tighter if you need to. Make sure that they're all nice and neat on there. Okay, and that is the main part of the Dreamcatcher. Now with these cords down here, you might want to leave them just hanging. You might want to fray them and fringe them and then cut the fringe, or you might want to do a design. Okay, so on this one, as I showed you at the beginning, on this one I just left a centimetre or so from the centre bottom of the hoop, and then I made an alternating pattern. So 5 square knots, 4, 5, 4, 5. And then I repeated the triangular pattern we did in the hoop. I repeated that there. And then I just frayed the edges, the ends, okay, just untwisted them. On this one that I did, again, I did another repeating pattern. I did another triangle, this time without the edging. And then here at the bottom of this one, I did the spiral knot. Okay, so see the tutorial for the spiral knot. If you haven't done it before, it's just half a square knot, and you keep going, doing the same half, and it will spiral. So that's another one you can do. We also put beads in our kits. So if you wanted to add beads, you can add them on and thread them here and put them at different heights. And then this one I've got to show you. This one I actually put our heart design. So this is the heart wall hanging design that we do. And what I did is I just did that underneath the hoop. And then again, I just frayed the edges. Okay, so the design here is entirely up to you. All right, have a play The beauty of it is if you want to undo, if you do this and you want to undo it, then you can. Or just have a play with it if you've got any spare cord, and then come back and pop it on here. Here, okay, I'm just going to neaten those, and you can just tie a loose knot there, okay, to have it as a hanging. And again, it looks quite nice, like that one's already begin to fray. If you fray these edges, okay, and you can give them a comb through and make them look all pretty, or you can find a nice hook and that. Okay, so that's the basics of the Dreamcatcher design. I hope you enjoy making yours. Send us any pictures of designs you do, and I can always share them on our social media. And the main thing is, have fun. Right, thanks for joining me this time. If you like what you've seen and you want to subscribe, click on the subscribe button just below and keep up to date with our new tutorials. Bye.